Hello students, today we are going to start with a new chapter, that is coal and petroleum. So just I will write the name of the chapter, it is coal and petroleum. Okay. So first of all, I would like to talk about like whatever things which are present around us, okay, can be divided into two things, like can be natural or can be man-made, okay. World around us is very beautiful, okay. We will find plenty of things, n number of things we will find, and when I say that we can divide them into some categories, okay. And the categories can be what? Natural and man-made. So how can we divide? It's very easy, and you all have studied this in lower classes, like maybe earth, okay, air, water, all these are what? These are natural substances, okay. And say artificial, what can be the artificial? Maybe anything like plastic, okay, any synthetic thing. Maybe cement, maybe bricks, maybe benches, okay. So all these things comes under the category of what? Man-made things. There can be few things, as just now I told bench, okay. So bench is man-made thing, but obviously the material from which it is being made is like we have obtained that from obviously from the nature. So basically we can divide things into two categories. But what all these things are known as? Like what? We are talking about what? So children, whatever things which human beings used for welfare, for his own benefit, okay, for any kind of use, any purpose, if human beings are using some particular things, it can be known as resources. It can be known as resources. So I will just write first of all the definition of resources. So how resources can be defined as anything which is used by humans for his survival or welfare can be called as resources. So what I have written over here, I have written definition of resources. And how can we define resources? Anything which is used by humans, okay. Obviously we are talking about human beings, we are using things, okay. So anything which is used by humans for his survival, okay, or welfare can be called as resources, okay. Anything we talk about, like it can be soil, it can be air, it can be water, it can be forest products, it can be wood, anything which we are using for our benefit, for our welfare, okay, for which is useful for our survival can be termed, can be coined as resources. Now, as just now I told you, like resources can be divided into two categories, okay. What can be the first category? The first can be natural resources. Natural resources, and the second can be man-made resources. Okay. So, let me make this see properly. I don't know, chalk is not working there. Okay. Natural resources and man-made resources. So, as the name itself is suggesting, okay, here name itself is suggesting natural, that means we are getting these substances from nature. There is nothing much to learn or to understand about, only the word itself, here the word itself is indicating the meaning or the definition itself, okay, natural and man-made. So, let me write the definition of this. It can be those resources which are obtained by, or I can even write obtained from, it can be as from, obtained from nature, are called as natural resources. Okay. Now, what can be the example of natural resources? What can be the example of natural resources? It can be sunlight. Just try to remember, just try to recall what are the things which we get naturally. Sunlight, soil, water, air, okay, then water I have written, yes I have written. So, all these are natural resources. And how can we define man-made resources? Obviously, I can write those resources which are made by man are called as man-made resources. Okay, are called as man-made resources. What can be the examples over here? I can write many things like plastic, cement, I can even write glass, okay, n number of things which even you know, okay. So now what we have studied, first of all we have learned the definition of resources, means anything which we or the human beings uses for their survival, for their benefit, for their use, okay, using for use it cannot be, but using for their welfare, for their benefit, okay, for their survival is known as what? It is known as resources. Then it can be divided into two categories, natural and man-made resources. This is one natural and other one man-made resources. Now I can again like divide into categories. I can talk about, I will be talking about now types of, okay, types of resources. Okay, so it can be divided in two categories. Before discussing the categories, I would just like to give you a hint. You might have studied. Now we will study about types of resources. Before starting this, I would just like to remind, or I want you to recall, that you might have heard many a times people saying that petrol may get over after a few years, or you might have studied in your syllabus only that the fuels, the things which we are using in an unlimited way, it will get over very soon. Okay, so it can be divided. When we talk about the types of resources, it can be of two types: exhaustible resources and inexhaustible. Resources. Okay, so we can divide this into two. It can be divided into two: exhaustible resources and inexhaustible resources. Now children, try to understand. There is no need to be confused or to learn. Exhaust. See, when you work more, suppose one fine day you studied more, or you played more, okay, or you have done something for particular, continuously for many hours, okay, how do you feel? You feel exhausted, okay, you feel exhausted. That means you feel that my energy is over. Now I don't have energy to work further. Now I don't have energy to continue my studies further. Okay, so what is the meaning of exhaustible resources? Those resources which will exhaust, okay, which will get over, which will get finished one day very soon if it is not used properly. Okay, what's the meaning of inexhaustible? Obviously it is just opposite to exhaustible. That means these resources will never come to an end. Okay, so what we are studying? We are studying about the types of resources. It can be divided into two categories. First is exhaustible. How and what can be the way? How can I define it? I can write those resources which get what should I write over here? Which will get over, which will get over after few years. Okay, so how can we define exhaustible? As when certain thing is, like when I say these are the one which will get over, that means they are present in which kind of way? It is obviously present in limited way. Okay, that means it is not present in more quantity. Okay, so I can write over here what, there is no place in writing exhaustible. So what, there is limited stock, there is limited amount which is present, which is available with us. Okay, now how can I write inexhaustible? Those resources which are available in plenty, or they are what I can write, they will not get over, they are not present. See, those resources which are available in plenty, or they are in which kind of way, they are in an unlimited, they are in an unlimited, I will just write this thing in bracket, in an unlimited stock, just for your understanding, okay. And what should I write over here? We have only limited stock, okay. These are what? Limited. And these one are unlimited stock we have, unlimited. There is no end. It won't come to an end even if we use it more and more. Okay. Then what can I write as an example? Here what can be the examples of inexhaustible? That means it won't get over. So what can be the examples? It can be sunlight, same way, okay, sunlight, air, wind, air and wind will be again same. So sunlight and air, okay, even tides, okay, tides can also be used, okay. So all these are what? Unlimited stock is there, like there's no worry, and we can use these things as much as we can, as much as we want, okay. And what can be the examples for exhaustible resources? What can I write over there? I can write petrol, examples of, I would have to wind it up, okay, examples of this one, exhaustible, okay. So what can be examples? What are the things which will get over? So obviously we all know petrol, okay. Then what are the other things which can come to an end? Even the gas, natural gas, coal, okay, coal, natural gases, all these things are what? They are present in limited stock. We cannot keep on using this stock without any check. We have to keep a check on these kind of stocks. Even I can say that even the I can even write over here, what I can write? I can even write like forest, okay, natural gas, all this can be written over here, all these can be taken as an example. See why I have written forest? You may be thinking that how forest can come to an end. Why? Because we can plant as many plants as we can, but children, the thing is that when we plant trees, okay, when we plant, which kind of plant we are going to use, which will be beneficial for us, okay. You just try to understand or just try to check the difference between the man-made forest or the plants which are grown by us and then natural forest. Which trees we will find, like what trees we are going to plant? Maybe gulmohar, maybe ashoka, maybe neem, maybe mango, banyan, peepal, all very common one, okay, which we know and which are beneficial for us. But when you talk about forest, there are n number of varieties in the forest, and they are like, it is not about the nature's benefit. They grow in a natural way, and a natural forest is formed which is quite different from what we grow. So again, forest can be taken in an exhaustible example or resources. one more thing I would like to clear over here. In few books, like forest is considered as inexhaustible resources, and the reason I gave you, because like see, always the difference between the suppose or some researches are being done, or when the discoveries are done. Okay, when we talk about, say, the example of atom, so all the scientists, when they started studying the atom, they will be given different definitions, they will be giving different views. Okay, in the same way, few people consider that forests are what? They are exhaustible, they are going to come to an end if we don't use it properly. But when we talk about few other group, they think that plants are the one which can be grown, so it can be taken as inexhaustible form. Okay, so what we are doing, we are studying here types of resources. How many kind of resources can be there? Exhaustible resources and inexhaustible resources. Exhaust means what? I just gave you the example. Exhaust means like tiring, okay, getting away. So those resources which are what? We have in limited amount will get over one day. So what can be those resources? What are the examples of those resources I have written over here? Okay, it can be petrol, coal, forest and natural gas. Inexhaustible, which is untiring, okay, unlimited, untiring. So what are those resources? Those resources which are available in plenty, or they are in an unlimited stock. Okay, if you want to put in bracket, you can put from here also, or they are in an unlimited stock. Okay, and what is there in an unlimited stock? You use sunlight as much as you can, and you all know that sunlight will never come to an end. Air you can use as much as you want, and we all know even the tides nowadays are very useful for us in creating energy. Which kind of energy? Different energies are being created now from the tidal waves also. So this was about exhaustible and inexhaustible resources. Now I would like to tell you something extra. Now see, exhaustible resources can also be known as what? It can be known as, see, it is going to which kind of resources? Which is going to be like, it is going to be, we cannot form it. Okay, so these are what? Non-renewable. Okay, non-renewable resources. It can also be known as non-renewable resources, while inexhaustible can also be known as, it can also be known as what? It can be known as renewable resources. Again, the name itself indicates non-renewable. We cannot make it new. We cannot again reform it. Okay, so this is what? Non-renewable resources, and here what I have written, renewable. These all things can be renewed. Okay, renewed in the sense, it doesn't mean that we are going to make it, but we have that. Okay, so this is non-renewable resources and renewable resources. One more name is there, like conventional resources and unconventional or non-conventional. Okay, conventional and non-conventional resources. Conventional means what? The traditional ways which we are using. Okay, so it can also be known as which one? This one, or here I have written the example. It can be also known as conventional sources. Why conventional? Conventional means what? The things which we are using from many years. Okay, the things which are in tradition. Okay, so these are known as what? Even this can be called as conventional resources, and these one are the recently, like I am not saying that just before 1 year or 2 years, but actually this one, inexhaustible one, is new. Like these are the new methods. Earlier we never used to use, like before few years these methods were not into existence. So these kind of methods are also known as non-conventional methods. Okay, non-conventional means what? Which were not in tradition, but now these are being used. So it is also known as non-conventional methods. Okay. So now what we are going to talk about now, how? Okay. Now we'll just talk about something, one topic. We will be talking about exhaustible resources, and in that also we will select one. For before this, what we will talk about, I want to talk about exhaustible resources. Now see children, when I say about the petrol, where is petrol? Here. When I say petrol and coal, okay, these are what? Exhaustible resources, and as the name suggests, coal and petroleum. So today we are going to talk much about petrol and coal. So how we get petrol and how coal is formed, okay, we are going to talk about this. We will be talking about the types of coal, we will be talking about the petroleum products, uses, okay, and how these things are in danger. So just let me rub the blackboard.